Okay, so at this point, we've really made it through some of the more top-heavy stuff, and week 3 and 4, I feel like, are sort of the downhill trend here in terms of hopefully the amount of work that you feel like you have at least. So for this week, the big thing that's due is the rough draft of your proposal. So what you're going to do is you're going to look at the guidelines for the final proposal, which I posted in week 3, and they're also posted in week 4. And you're going to use that to construct a rough draft of your proposal. The more work that you put into it at this point, obviously the more relevant and helpful feedback you'll get from your peers. So what's going to happen is you're going to submit a rough draft via the assignments link that's posted in this week's folder, and then I'm going to send them via email, and they'll be anonymous, so I'll remove your name, to 2 other members of the class, and they're going to review it for their peer review assignment. So that also means that obviously you're going to be reviewing too as well. And then what I will do is I will collect the feedback from everyone's proposal, and then I will email that to all of you. Okay, so basically you're going to submit a rough draft to me. I'm going to send that out to 2 people. They're going to review your work based on the set of criteria that you'll see in the folder, and then I'm going to send that feedback back to you to help you be able to improve your draft before you submit it to me. I mean, throughout this process, if you have questions, I mean, I'm happy to answer them as well. But again, I just feel like it's a nice opportunity to learn from one another. I think that reading other people's work can help you make your work better, and you're also helping each other, which I think is nice. And I think that's one of the benefits, or at least for me, that I try to make happen in online learning, is to make it really collaborative. Especially at this level of professional development, I think it's nice to be able to really work together and to share our expertise to make everyone's work stronger. The only other thing I think I wanted to make sure I let you know is that you will see that one of the discussion boards is asking you to post about what you learned from reading other people's proposals. And this isn't so much like, well, in the proposal I read, they said this. It's more like, from reading the proposals, I realized how important it was to really provide a background, because it was hard for me to understand the need without it. Or, maybe one of the proposals you read had some really great objectives, and, your post is about how you realized how important objectives can be. So it's more that sort of generalized thoughts and feedback that you have from reading other people's proposals. I'm not wanting you to specifically point out anything about anyone's work. But again, I think it's just a good exercise to always think about what we've learned. I've really tried to make sure that every assignment that you do in this course and every reading that you do and all these little discussions, that hopefully they advance your learning somehow. So I think it's just nice to take a minute to sort of reflect on that. And I think that's really it for week 3. Like I said, the biggest thing is really just starting to work on that proposal. And then the final thing I want to mention is that, if I had more time and, if this was a different setup, there's a lot of other things that I would love to bring into this course. I think that there's so much that you could really do with it. But we don't have time for that. So I did want to, it just feels a little out of context. So I just wanted to explain that one of the things that I brought into this week is a discussion board that relates to facilitators and implements. Because when you're thinking about trying to change behavior, which on some level you are, right? So you're doing a proposal that might not be changing individual behavior, it might be changing something at the school, but at the end of the day, you're trying to change something. And one of the things that's helpful to think about when you're thinking about trying to change something are facilitators, what are the things, in the setting that are really going to help you. So that can be things like, you yourself being a motivated person, or you yourself being able to have control over things. It could be a supportive principal, it could be money, it could be the fact that you have lots of outdoor space. It can really be anything, and I encourage you to sort of think outside the box. It could be that you have a great PTO who would totally support, ideas around physical activity. Maybe you're located close to a hospital, so whatever the case may be. And it's equally important to start thinking about some of the impediments. So what might be some of the challenges that you're going to have to overcome in order to get whatever idea you have for your proposal up and running. The advantage to thinking about that ahead of time is that you can sort of be prepared for things, and you might be able to address some of the impediments in your proposal, and you might be able to use some of the facilitators to help overcome your impediment. So again, there's sort of a lot more to that, but I think it's really important, and that's why I decided to include it in the discussion board. So I know it might feel a little bit sort of out of place, but I do think it's important, and that's why I added it like that instead of having us, read another article or have to have a whole other series of readings about it. So I think that's it. Good luck with your rough drafts, and I look forward to starting to see what some of your ideas are.